Hey everyone, it's Haley Jensen, your East Idaho realtor, and today we're going to talk about the 5 steps you need to follow to purchase a home in Idaho Falls. So let's get started. Okay, so you have decided that you're going to move to Idaho Falls, whether it's a job relocation or you just need a change of pace and you're ready to try out a new city. There are 5 steps that, if you do them in the right order, will make your moving process so much more smooth and so much more enjoyable. So I'm going to give you your 5 steps to making your move to Idaho Falls. Okay, step number 1, you've obviously found me on YouTube, you've watched a few of my videos. The first step would be to reach out to me. Best way to get a hold of me is to call me on the phone or text me. You can also find my email information in my channel. But once you reach out to me, we'll talk a little bit on the phone, and then I will send you my buyer intake form. And this tells me about your family, the reason you're moving here, what your projected budget will be, your timeline, etc. So that gives me all of your information in one place so I can better serve you. After I get all your information, we will schedule a phone call, either through Zoom so we can see each other face to face, or just over the phone. And we'll talk a little bit about that buyer intake form and make a plan moving forward. So once we have spoken to each other, whether alone or with your partner or your spouse, whoever you're going to be moving with, gives us a really good idea if, 1, we want to work together, if you still like me after you talk to me on the phone, and 2, kind of what our plan is. Okay, step number 2 is finding your listing agent. That is the agent's going to sell your home you're currently in. Most of my clients need to sell a home before they purchase in Idaho Falls. If you don't, then you can skip this step, but most of the time that is the case. Now, I have colleagues and people that I've worked with all over the country. Chances are I can help connect you to someone and kind of vet some agents on your behalf. Or you might already have a listing agent that you've worked with before, whether they helped you purchase your home. But you'll need to find a listing agent and have a meeting with them, because they will know how long your house should take to sell. And that's a very important piece of information for me as your buyer's agent, because we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. If you come here, you find a home that you just absolutely love, but your home's not on the market yet, chances are you're going to miss out on that home that you really, really love. So you're going to find your listing agent. You're going to invite her over to your house for a listing appointment, and she's going to give you a good idea based on your timeline of when you should list your house. And then with that, you are going to give me her phone number. So we are going to be connected through the transaction, because hopefully we can sell your home and purchase your new home within either the same day or a few days as you travel to Idaho. So when you get here, you can move straight in and you don't have to rent or stay in a hotel or an Airbnb. So your listing agent and I will really want to work really close together during the transaction to make sure things are seamless, that your funds are available from your sale, etc. There really are some really important details to make sure everything goes smoothly. Okay, number 3 is to find a local lender. Now, I love to work with local Idaho lenders, and here's why. When you work with some online companies that I won't call out by name, but you just Google national lenders and they're all online, they are incredibly hard for me to get a hold of, and they aren't always super efficient, and they don't always close on time. But if you have chosen a local Idaho lender whose cell phone number I have, or I can drive over to their office, or I already am meeting them for lunch, I can assure you that the transaction is going to go so much more smoothly. So can I work with your lender? Absolutely. Do I prefer to work with local lenders? Yes, 100%. So if you don't have a lender yet, or even if you've reached out to a few, I would love for you to interview some local lenders here in Idaho Falls. And I have a list of those vendors, because it really just does help when the lender's office is right by the title company that we're closing with, and everybody here knows each other. We've done tons of transactions together. And those lenders, when there is a delay in the appraisal, or there's a delay in something, I can call them after hours on their cell phone. They're going to answer the phone, and we can keep that seamless transaction. Like I said, if you're closing and purchasing, we really want somebody that's going to answer their phone. It's not a 1-800 number. It's not on the East Coast. So when it's 3 o'clock here and I've got a question, they're already closed over there. So finding a local lender. Okay. I think I stressed that enough. Pre-approval with that lender, okay? So most pre-approval letters are good for 60 to 90 days. So we wanna make sure you don't get it too early based on your timeline. So you can make sure we know your budget and we've done the required paperwork with that lender so we know exactly what price range to shop in. So finding that local lender and getting pre-qualified and pre-approved through them in the right amount of time so that pre-approval letter doesn't expire. Okay, so the fourth step would be taking what I like to call a discovery trip. So if you're getting relocated here or you're just picking Idaho Falls because you are looking for a new city, chances are you're not totally familiar with all of the neighborhoods. So on a discovery trip, we are meeting up for coffee. We're meeting each other in person. I'm meeting your family. We're talking about some of your more specific needs. And then you as a family or as an individual are just kind of driving around Idaho Falls and deciding what neighborhoods you like, what areas you like, what areas you don't like, and where you want to be. And that's really going to help us when it comes time to making offers, or when you're home looking at Zillow and you are just seeing these houses and you're like, this one is so beautiful. Well, if you've never been here, you might be like, oh, but I don't want to live on that side of town because it's so far from this or that. So that discovery trip is really important. And that's something that I don't really follow you around to do because it's such a personal thing of where you want to be. You've got to drive in the traffic. You've got to find, the local sandwich shop, etc. And of course I have recommendations for that. But that discovery trip is really for you to get a feel for Idaho Falls. Now, usually on about the last day of that discovery trip, I like to show you some vacant houses. And why vacant? Because if we're not ready to make an offer, I don't like to show homes that people live in because they've got to pack up their kids and all of that, and they've got to get their house clean. And if we know you're not buying for 60 or 90 days or even a few months, it's just poor etiquette, in my opinion, to go into homes where people live. I'm happy to show you some new construction homes, stuff that's vacant. So we usually look at 3 or 4 or 5, even 5 houses that we don't have to make appointments and that we can just go in and see the neighborhood, check out builders, etc. So if that's something that you want to do on that discovery trip, absolutely fine with doing that. In terms of looking at homes that people live in, that's in step number 5, and we'll talk about that next. Okay, step number 5 is your final visit with offers. So once we have gone through all the 4 steps, your home is on the market and it's hopefully under contract. Now we're ready to make offers. So that's when you and your family would come and tour houses that you might actually purchase. So you're 100% ready to move. And then we will hopefully know the neighborhoods you want to be in, the school district you want to be in. And so our search is going to be really specific and we are ready to make an offer. So I've talked about this before on my channel. If you are hoping to purchase a brand new home, in 95% of cases, that builder wants your home on the market and under contract. So that's where we'll need to be when we get to step 5. If you are looking for an existing home that just has someone living in it, sometimes those sellers are a little bit more flexible in terms of if your home is under contract or on the market. When we write an offer and you're not on the market yet, I have to fill in a blank that says your home will be on the market in X amount of days, and we think it's going to be under contract in X amount of days. That stuff's really hard to guarantee, so I really prefer to have your home on the market. Hopefully I've talked to your listing agent already and she has a really good idea of what your market is doing, and she knows this neighborhood's selling in 10 days or this neighborhood is selling in 35 days. We really need to be prepared and educated so I can write the most competitive offer that I can for you. And so that's why it's important to be really prepared on that listing side, and for me and your listing agent to have a really frank and honest conversation with each other. So when we write offers, we know our stuff and we know that, hey, this is a really strong offer because we're either already under contract or because this neighborhood goes under contract in under 7 days. Okay, those are my 5 steps to help you get ready to purchase a home in Idaho Falls. Now, one just small tidbit of information that I'll add to those 5 steps is we're currently in March. School gets out here in May and it starts again in August. So if you have children, you know you're probably finishing up the school year wherever you are, and you want to be moved in and settled before school starts. You are not alone, okay? So those months, June, July, they're gonna get a little bit more competitive than they are right now. So keep that in mind. That's why I really, really like your listing situation to be locked in, ready to go. So when we write offers on homes and the market is more competitive and there are more buyers out, that our offer looks really good and it's really strong because we have our stuff together on the listing side. So I've talked about it before, kind of about the timeline, but if you are wanting to be ready to go by the time school starts, we really need to be writing offers in mid-July, which means that final 5th step of that trip, ready to make offers, needs to be end of June, beginning of July. All right, so there you have it. I really hope that helped you with your timeline and kind of give you an idea of what you need to do to get ready to purchase a home in Idaho Falls. We have some great things on the market right now, lots of new construction and lots of new construction that's gonna be done around May. So I would love for you to reach out to me and to get this process started so we can help you move to Idaho Falls. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video so you can get more of my content. I make a new video every single week and my job is to help make your move to Idaho Falls as smooth and stress-free as possible. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.